Hi, welcome to this course on investigations. I'm Tom McBride, and I'll just introduce what we're going to do in these lectures. The whole the circumstance or the situation is that something has happened and we want to investigate it. Now, in software and system development, what happens normally is that a project doesn't turn out as we want. Normally this is not a very sharply defined incident, like it didn't crash. It's more like that the quality wasn't quite as we wanted, or it took too long to build, or it isn't quite what the customer wanted. And we need to go and investigate why this is so. How come we can't do it perfectly? Now in investigations, there are some standard techniques that we can apply and use, and I will briefly describe these now, and we'll go into more depth in later videos. Now the four common ones that I can think of, probably the most common is root cause analysis. Now this is more suited when you actually have a sharply defined event, like the system crashed or there was an outage. This is an event. You can go back and trace the actual actions leading up to this, or how the system behaved to lead up to this. It's not so good for investigating untoward outcomes, such as the project didn't produce quality as we'd expect. But it is very good for investigating specific incidents or specific problems. The purpose of root cause analysis is to go beyond the immediate symptoms and get back to the root cause, so we can prevent things in the future. The second method we'll examine is the comparison against a standard. We frequently talk about best practice. A best practice is somebody's idea of how things ought to be done, and organizations will frequently adopt best practice. Now this could be say the ISO 9001 requirements for quality management systems that requires you to have specific procedures or processes for developing your software. And we can examine whether those practices were followed, and if not, why not, and how did that contribute to the outcome. So that's another method of doing it. Now in software and system development, it's not like producing cars or mass producing anything. We can't give specific direct instructions for exactly how to do it. A lot of decisions have to be made during any particular project, any particular piece of development. And so we may need to examine not only was the practice followed, but how was it followed? How were the behaviors during that? How were the decisions made? Now this, for want of a better term, we could call performance analysis. So that's another technique we can use. The fourth technique, or fourth approach to investigation that I'll talk about, would be systems theory approach. This examines the entire project or software engineering effort as a system, starting with the strategic management of the organization and how all the different layers of the organization were involved in creating the environment and allocating the resources and causing the software and system to be developed. That system theory approach takes a wider view to examine how the environment contributes to the outcomes, as opposed to how the specific actions of specific people contribute to the outcomes. So they're the topics we'll talk about, and I hope you will join me. I look forward to your company.